want to share some unbelievable car deals I recently found on IAAI auctions. If you think you need millions of Naira to buy a car, wait until you hear these prices. We're talking about cars that went for as low as $25. Yep, you heard that right, just $25. Let's dive into some of these deals. First up, check out this 2014 Buick Enclave Premium. This is a luxury SUV with a powerful 3.6 LV6 engine. It's an all-wheel drive, which means it can handle the toughest Nigerian roads. Now, you might be wondering, how did this premium car go for just $400? Well, it had some damage on the left front and a bit on the front end, but guess what? It still runs and drives. That's a huge plus. The seller was Progressive Casualty Insurance, and the Enclave had about 180,406 miles on it. That might sound like a lot, but this car still had some life left. With some repairs, about $7,536 worth, it could be good as new. Plus, the estimated retail value was $9,205. For $400, this is one of those deals where if you know a good mechanic, you could make this car shine again. Next, I found a 2010 Ford Edge Limited, and the final bid. Just $325. Let that sink in for a moment. This car had a 3.5 LV6 engine, which means it's got plenty of power. It was also a run and drive, so the engine was still working fine. The damage was mainly on the right front and scattered across the car. With 227,738 miles on the odometer, this car had seen some roads, but it wasn't down and out. The seller, Progressive Casualty Insurance, put it up with a prior salvage title from Minnesota, which meant it had been repaired before. The retail value of this car was $5,174, but the estimated repair costs were around $5,579, which was probably why the final bid was so low. For someone willing to do the repairs, this would be a steal. Next up is the 2015 Volkswagen Jetta. This one blew my mind. It sold for just $200. Now, this car wasn't in running condition at the time of the auction, it was stationary. But it had a low mileage of 92,334 miles, and for a 2015 car, that's pretty solid. This Jetta had some front-end damage, and the seller was Progressive Casualty Insurance again, with a salvage title from North Carolina. The estimated retail value was $8,702, but the damage was significant, with repair costs estimated to be around the same amount, $8,702. Still, for $200, if you have the skills or a good mechanic, this could easily be fixed up and ready to go for much less than buying a similar car on the market. Now, here's one that really shocked me, a 2014 Ford Fusion that sold for just $100. That's less than what most people spend on groceries. The Fusion had a 2.5L engine, and although it wasn't running at the time of the auction, the mileage was only 96,213 miles, which isn't bad for a 2014 car. The damage was to the front end, and it came with a salvage title from New York. The retail value was about $8,174, but there wasn't an estimated repair cost listed, so it's hard to say how much work was needed. But honestly, even if the repairs were a few $1,000s, you'd still end up with a car that's worth way more than what you paid. Okay, now for the jaw-dropper, a 2010 Toyota Camry that sold for $25. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. This was a run and drive, so the engine was still working, and the mileage was 162,231 miles. The damage was mainly to the front end, but nothing too serious. The seller, State Farm Group Insurance, put this Camry up with a salvage certificate from Hawaii. The retail value was estimated at $4,304. Even without knowing the exact repair costs, just think about this, you could buy this car for $25, fix it up, and still have a working Camry for a fraction of what it would cost on the market. That's why these auctions are worth checking out. So, what's the takeaway from all this? You don't need to spend millions to get a decent car. These are all real examples from IAAI auctions, and they show that if you're smart and willing to do a little repair work, you can get a great car for cheap. Cars like the Buick Enclave, Ford Edge, and even the Toyota Camry all went for under 2 million Naira, and some went for way less. Now, I know some of these cars had damage, but that's part of the game with salvage cars. If you can find a good mechanic or you have the skills to fix them up yourself, you can save a lot of money. And the best part? These cars can end up being just as reliable as any other car on the road. If you're interested in learning more about how to find deals like these or want to know how to import cars from the USA to Nigeria, stick around. I've got plenty of tips, tricks, and advice to share. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you've ever bought a car from an auction, drop a comment below, I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and remember, car deals like this are out there, you just have to know where to look. See you in the next video.